Hello there, I'm Cody. You're not. Welcome back to Birth Month 2024. We're talking about Agent Cody Banks. You can see it back there. Agent Cody Banks. Ow! Punching yourself in the face makes you stop yawning. Okay. So, say the peanut butter. Agent Cody Banks stars Frankie Muniz as Cody Banks. No, there's Francois. There is a Francois in here, but no. This 15-year-old who was trained at a secret training camp. And I always think of... So I always thought there was a scene at the beginning of this movie where they're at a camp and the parents show up for Parents' Day. That's the second one. That's the second one where he shows where they do that. So, no, this just happens that things happen. Yeah, we missed the whole introduction to we missed the whole introduction to like how he became a secret agent. He just is. Right? So the mission is that there's this villain played by Ian McShane, who is working on this who is working with this guy named Dr. Connors. No, not Dr. Kirk Connors, Dr. Connors, on this nanobots that are going to I don't fucking know what they do. They kill people. I don't know. They make strawberry milkshakes for all I care. Do they ever actually say what these fucking things do? They're just bad nanobots. Bad nanobots, bad things. They're frozen in ice, and if they get free, they cause some serious shit. I don't know. Look, get off my back, alright? No, seriously, get off my back. You're sitting on there. What do the nanobots do? They fart and sing a song. I can't think. Okay. I had it on. How could I not remember? They just say like they eat through stuff because it looked like they're gonna eat through his shoe, I guess. Anyway, you need an in. The CIA needs an in, so they say the daughter is the way in. So they get Cody Banks in to, for lack of a better term, seduce the daughter, court the daughter, get close to. There it is. They get close to the daughter, who is played by Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff. Why does that sound wrong? Hilary Duff. Yeah, it's Hilary Duff. Well, at the time was a famous for Lizzie McGuire, and Frankie Muniz at the time was famous for that. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. Yeah. So he gets taken from. Okay, so let's talk about this scene where we're introduced to this Veronica Miles, played by Angie Harmon. So hot. Want to touch the hiney? That's from a movie, and I'm joking. Okay, I'm not problematic. Don't be either. It's a joke. But she's old enough to be my damn mother. But well, in 2003, I was 14. No, I was 7. Come on, damn you, 16. 16. 2004. No, I was 17. 17. I was only 17, so I'm older than Ricky Muniz. Or at least his character in this movie. But yeah, I was 17. 2004. Yes, 17. So, I'm not doing anything. This was 2003, so what am I talking about? I was 16. Why am I saying 2004? I don't know. 2003. I was 16. You guys are loving this review right now. He's like, what's he talking about? He was 16. Sorry, I was 16. Okay, so I'm a little bit older than him. I'm like older than his character. I could relate to this. Not this super spy stuff, but talking to girls. Like, okay, so they hire a teenager and they're surprised when they find out he can't talk to girls. We're teenage boys. We still trying to figure out our own stuff. We're supposed to figure out girls too? Come on now. That's why I tell people, I didn't have a girlfriend until I was a senior. And they were like, really? Not until you were a senior, which means I was like 18, 19. Yeah, because, it's not that easy to be serious. You can go out with other girls, sure, but to be serious? Yeah. But, so, Veronica Miles, played by Angie Harmon, walks into the boys' locker room where they got these bullies. Okay, so, I know that this is probably always on repeat, and you probably are sick of hearing me talk about this, but I hate the bully trope in movies. And he's got a bully at the beginning of this, which was taken out by Veronica, right? So she walks into this boys' locker room. They're like pre-adolescent teenage boys, not pre-adolescent, adolescent teenage boys in towels, right? First of all, you got this kid hitting on her, and she pulls off his towel. Who hired her to be on the CIA? And then she starts hitting everybody in the dick with a towel whooping in the nuts, right? These adolescent teenage boys. She's supposed to be working for the CIA. I think she should get put on another list. Let me tell you. But yeah, so she takes Cody out of school, and like no one mentions the woman who ran to the locker room. No. They're gonna transfer him to a prep school, so he can be close to Natalie. That is Hilary Duff's character, and get close. And like I said, they are surprised when they find out that he can't talk to girls. Well, he did write on his thing that he could talk to girls, but again, he thought it was a summer camp. So how is he supposed to know that these were signing up for CIA stuff? So of course he's nervous when it comes to talking to girls. Hell, grown-ass men get nervous talking to women, right? I haven't been on a date in years. A proper date. Like, I was with my girlfriend, I was with my ex, for quite a while before we went on our first date. And our first date was a movie date to see Jackass 3. So you put that in perspective. Whenever Jackass 3 came out, that was the last actual date that I had. Yeah. Sure, there was making out on the couch and other stuff. But actual date, that's the last time I had a date. That's before my son was even born, so that's like 13 years ago. Oh, my head hurts now. Not that it's been that long since I had a date, but my son's almost 13. He'll be 13 this year, maybe 14 years ago. Give me a second here. So then we get our Q scene. It's not Q, but it's basically our Q scene. Oh, no, like I said, there's bullies, and then there's this dumbass security guard. So, they drop Cody off at his desk. Security guard comes in, and he's like, hey, you can't be here. And like, no, I'm an agent. Yeah, right. I'm with Veronica Miles. You wish. And then CIA Director Keith David comes in. And the guy's like, oh, sir, caught this guy trespassing. I'm just like a teenage boy can just walk in. Well, that proved later that he can just walk in, but, you know. But yeah, like Keith David just lays into him. This is the most important teenager in the world. It's a little much for Cody's sake, but yeah, they lay out the whole thing with these nanobots to do something, I'm sure. And then he has to get close to the daughter to get, you know. Then it's when they find out that he can't talk to girls. He doesn't say anything right away. You know. So he goes to the Q. We get the Q scene. Daryl Hammond, excuse me, wrong Daryl. Daryl Hammond from SNL. You know, he did George Bush and a few other characters. He's here. And he's basically the Q. And he gives out the gadgets. You know, the watch that has a silver button you're not supposed to push because it initiates an electric shock. But, like, we find out later that it shocks the person that wears the watch, is holding the watch, wearing the watch. So what the hell kind of technology is that? Like, if you push it, you should shock whoever you're pointing at. Why would you make a watch that shocks the person wearing it? It just, sure, it comes in handy later, but just, you know. I don't know. And he wants the car, but no car. He's 15. So he gets into the school, he gets acclimated, and we find out there's more bullies. Noel Fisher, who you may know from the Shameless, but also Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Michael Bay ones. The good face to lead a whole shot. Yeah, him. I know it's the kid who got blew the fuck up in Final Destination 2. Yeah, he's the kid that's at the grill and yeah, him. That's him. Brian. His name is Brian in that movie. I remember the name. He is stock bully number 2 in this. He's a leader of these new bullies, but he's basically the same character as before. And I'm like, first I'm like, okay, we're away from the bullies. And then we got more bullies. It's like, every school has bullies. So then Cody has a daydream about beating them up, but they do a weird thing where they filter it in black and white, which takes away from the whole. Like, I've seen dream sequences or daydreams in movies before, where it happens and then it snaps back. Oh, it was just a daydream. But here, you know it's a daydream the whole time. It takes away from that. It's a dream where he kicks their asses and then Natalie comes up to him and is all nice and then he snaps out of it. And like, that would be cool. We probably would have known it was a daydream, but you know, you didn't have to completely go that way. But yeah. Of course he tries to get close to Natalie and doesn't really succeed. He sort of talks to her, but not really until Oh, I forgot there's an extended sequence at the beginning of this with a baby. Because we have to show that he was trained by the CIA, so he's doing this whole thing where he saves a baby. Kind of giving away your... what's it called? Blowing your cover. But he doesn't have a cover yet, really, so he's just doing that, I guess. Well, so he finally, after she hurts herself, he talks to Natalie and he gets her to invite her to her party, but for some reason they have to have Veronica come in as another school nurse and try to force it, even though he already got invited. Like, he is trying here, and he's not gonna happen right away, but she thinks it needs to be sped up, but by the time she gets there, it's already been invited, so There's also a whole scene with the driving instructor, which, yes, is an overly racist character. Because he's not just Asian, but he's stereotypical Asian. Like, you will not get the driver license. That type of one. The R's are the L's are the R's. Driver's license. Because that's how they talk, Maybe some of them, but you don't. But like every single Asian person in every movie ever talks like that, unless they're fully speaking English. But I don't know. He's overly stereotypical Asian, though. I'm just saying, he's like, he's a driver's test that he is nonsensically yelling at her the whole time. She's unable to concentrate, which, like, they say that he never passes anyone. And it's basically his fault because he's like uncontrollably loud. There's no way anyone can concentrate, right? And I don't drive. Okay, I wish I did. I get to places faster, but I don't drive, so I don't. It just, so I don't know. But then Cody gets in, disables the passenger brake, and then just goes buck wild with it. And the guy says he's gonna make sure he never gets his driver's license. And then two CIA guys grab him and force him to give him a driver's license. Which, okay, that's going to become an issue later. Because, Natalie saw this whole thing. Just saying. So, when it comes time for the party, he gets there in a car. He gets a car. And he gets his license and all that. By the way, we got some Canadian actors in this. The actress playing Natalie's best friend was Lily, I think her name was, in the season 2 finale of Supernatural. You also have Chris Gauthier, who was also on Supernatural as Ronald, as well as Smallville as Winslow Schott, aka the Toy Man, and you might be saying, well, Scotty, he was also a different character in season 3. Wrong. I count that as the same character because it makes sense. And it makes sense that he was working for Luthor Corp because Luthor ends up being in charge of. Although he was probably working for Lionel and wasn't fully a villain yet. And most villains in comic books or otherwise were just normal office working people. Look at Dr. Connors. He was a scientist before he became the Lizard, right? You have Dr. Octopus, also a scientist, became a Lizard. You know what I mean? The Green Goblin was a mild-mannered businessman who turned into the Green Goblin. So they work business jobs and they become villains. Who knows? By the way, also Arnold Vosloo, you may know as the Mummy from the first 2 Mummy movies, is the henchman in this. His one joke is that he's bald, and then later when Cody blows stuff up, he says, "You ruined my haircut." Haha. Ian McShane is a good villain, and I don't know, people say he's racist because he wears brown face. There's something called a tan. And just because someone is tan doesn't mean they're being racist. And people say, oh, it's racist, he's racist. And I'm like, it's a tan. Somebody sue Paris Hilton too. Then, because she's racist for having a tan. Right? I'm just saying. Half of the people on Jersey Shore are racist apparently. Because of their tans. Yeah, having a tan is racist apparently. Just saying. Just saying. It's not racist to have a tan. Lay off that guy. He knows John Wick. Don't forget that. Don't piss him off. You know what he's saying? John Wick is dead. I believe it when I see it. But John Wick Chapter 4, money talks, right? Money talks. Although that would kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a decent ending for him. Who knows? But anyway, so he goes to this party. He shows up in his car, and now he sees him come out of this car. Right? He comes in, She moves him out of the car, and she does not mention anything about the fact that she saw him completely fail the driver's test. The guy, she was in the car. The guy said he's never getting his driver's license ever. That he's the person to go down and make sure he never gets it. But now he's got it. In like less than 2 days, he's already got a printed out driver's license and he's ready to drive. She doesn't ask any questions. But while he is there, he sneaks in. He finds the nanobots that I'm sure do something. I don't know what, but they do something. I don't know. No. They're dangerous, whatever they do. And he overhears them talking. Eventually, he gets them. But as he goes to leave, the bullies go after him again. And this is when he decides, I'm done being I'm done being bothered by bullies. So he kicks their asses all over the place. Excuse me. And this, of course, blows his cover. Because Ian McShane and the Mummy, they see him. So, see him do this, and so his cover is blown. He's kicked off the CIA. He's going to be transferred back to his old school in a few days. He's taken off the case because he did that. And look, Cody did the right thing. Okay, he did the right thing. Because if he had let the bullies do to him what they were going to do, it would have ruined the nanobites. I mean, they already went through his one shoe, but still, like, all the technology, something, right? Like, there is one thing earlier where the bully took his watch, and he tells him, "Oh, whatever you don't push the silver button," and he does, and he electrocutes himself. Which again makes me think, why did they put that on a watch that you're gonna wear? And I don't know. But then Natalie shows up at his house, and they go out for pistachio ice cream, which is not a bad ice cream. So I would tell you, it's not bad. It's not that bad. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not bad. Also notice that Cody doesn't eat his, so he's probably not a fan. But she loves pistachio ice cream. And look, just cause, like, okay, so I want to point out something here. When he first starts talking to her, he comes off as awkward because he just keeps saying, "I like horses," which immediately makes you think of, "I like turtles." And he's like, and then, because he knows all the things she likes. You gotta use them in the right way. Don't just blurt out, "I like this, I like that, don't you like that?" No. And just because you know she likes pistachio ice cream, get her pistachio, get yourself some goddamn Rocky Road. Okay? You don't have to get the same ice cream, especially if you don't like it. You don't have to like the same thing she does. You just have to kind of talk to her about the stuff. You're trying too hard here, man. This comes from a guy who hasn't had a date since 2010. Alright? So here's the thing. That's 14 years. I could get it if I wanted to. I just don't want to. Women are too much. I've never been able to handle a relationship. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. The more and more I hear about women, the more and more I'm just like, I'm glad I'm just single. I don't know. So anyway, they're talking at the ice cream place when the Mummy shows up and tries to kidnap them. Cody tries to get away, but Natalie ends up kidnapped instead, and then the CIA blames him for it. And he tries to tell them him for it. He does at one point bribe his brother because he tells him the truth and says, "Hey, I need your help. What's it in for you?" He gives him all the $900 that he had. I'd give him half. I'd give him $350. I get him all $900. I'll give you $350. All right, $3.50, or no, $350. Excuse me. That's a better deal than $3.50. $350. That's more than 1/3 of the $900. Okay, that's 1/3 plus $50. Whatever that is. So he tries to contact the CIA to tell them what's going on because he still has the tracker. He's trying to tell them, and no one answers his phone call. So he sneaks in, and we go back to that security guard guy who now doesn't question him because he got yelled at earlier. So he sneaks in and grabs some stuff, but he's found by Agent Veronica, right? But she says she's going to help him. We get inappropriate joke where he's facing her tits. I don't know. She's attractive. We get it. Also, every time she walks in and someone notices her, we get hot and so hot in here, yeah. Like when she walks into the locker room, we get that. When she first introduced herself to the dad, played by another Canadian actor, Daniel Roebuck, who was in Final Destination as Agent Wayne, right? And he was also in... Was he in Smallville? I think he was in Smallville. Well, he was Dr. Arzt on Lost. He blew it up. Spoiler alert. He blew it up. Eventually, I want to talk about Lost. Eventually, I did the seasons. I still gotta do season 6, but like the episodes are calling to me too. There's a lot within the episodes we could talk about. I could pay more attention to them now. But that's difficult because there's flashbacks involved in that. It's more difficult than Smallville. I also want to talk about Supernatural, and I've had an idea that once I go past season 4 of Smallville, I want to start doing Smallville and Supernatural back to back. So like do season 5 of Smallville, followed by season 1 of Supernatural. And then season 7 of Smallville, season 2 of Supernatural. You see what I'm saying? Go through and do the episodes. Just that'll give me a head start on Supernatural as well. So it's good. It'll take Smallville more time for Smallville, but it's just an idea. It's not official, so don't get your old panties in a twist. Anyway, so they get there, and he tries to rescue her, but of course she's confused, and he's trying to stay off camera. So his whole thing is, I'm gonna jump in front of the camera and try to land in front of you so they can't see me, instead of, hey, come over here where the camera can't see you, right? Or something. I don't know. There really was no way to do that, because if she would have moved out the camera, they would know it. But then he flips, and the mummy notices it, and nothing happens right away. But like, eventually, Veronica shows up and is about to leave. The mummy is there with a bunch of hench people. Eventually, Cody gets away and tries to save the day because the nanites, they do something, I'm sure, about to melt, and they end up arresting the mummy. I think. Does Ian McShane die? I don't know, but he saves Natalie, and we got this cool shot in the end where the place explodes and Cody's hanging on to the side of the helicopter, but like they're at a very high altitude in like the Himalayas or some shit. And it's gonna be very cold. It wouldn't be as cool as you think it looked. It'd be more like, you know, cold. And what happened to her dad? Was he safe? Because I like to know that. Was he safe? Because I don't remember seeing. Maybe they got him out. The other CIA members got him out. And then we get this whole thing where it looks like Dave was gonna yell at him. Instead, he congratulates him. Well, there's other scenes too, like they do his chores. And he gets $5 for... He cleaned that whole goddamn house, Mom. He gets $5. $5 for cleaning the whole damn house? How about $25? I get doing his chores, fine. But like, only $5 for cleaning the entire house. Dusting things, wiping things down. $5? That's cheap ass mom right there, right? Just saying. But yeah, and so he's gonna go back to his old school because, and so then Veronica, who has been saying that she's his handler, she finally says that she's his partner. By the way, we never see her again. And then he and Hilary Duff are dating now, and they kiss. And the movie ends with that song, "Life is good when you're around." Very 2000s. We never see her again either. Because they didn't come back for the sequel, which came out a year later. But for some reason, they didn't, for such a short production time, they didn't bring back those two characters. Keith David comes back. We got Anthony Anderson and Hannah Spirit of S Club 7. She isn't it, not him. He's just Anthony Anderson. I would say this is pretty good. I just wish I could remember what those nanobites did. And it's not a joke. It's not a bet, even though I keep bringing it back. I really don't know what they did. Something dangerous. They eat through stuff or something. They ate through his shoe. So like they're like termite nanites, but they eat through everything instead of just wood, right? Something like that. I'm sure I'll figure it out, but yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good for me. I enjoyed it pretty much. So, what are your thoughts on Agent Cody Banks? Leave a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll just push the button. Okay, that's my 30 dishes. Come on now. And there's me. Push the right button.